Hello everyone, my name is Leo, and I'm 25 years old. Have you ever felt like you're living your life behind an invisible wall? You can see your dreams clearly on the other side. You can see success, opportunity, and the person you were always meant to be. But every time you try to reach for it, you hit that wall. You feel the impact, the frustration, the stinging disappointment of being held back. You know you have the talent, you know you have the passion, but something is stopping you. Just 6 months ago, that was my entire reality. My dream was to become a game developer for one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. I lived and breathed code. But that invisible wall between me and my dream was the English language. Today, I'm going to tell you the story of how I shattered that wall. And this isn't just my story. This is your story too, if you've ever felt trapped, silenced, or left behind because of your English. I need you to stay with me until the very end, because I promise my journey will show you exactly how to find your own path to freedom. The night my world went silent. My journey didn't begin with a spark of motivation. It began with a crushing failure, a moment of profound humiliation that changed my life forever. For years, I had poured my heart and soul into creating a portfolio of small games. I spent countless sleepless nights debugging code and designing worlds. Finally, my moment came. I received an email from Dreamweave Studios, the company behind my favorite games. They wanted to interview me for a junior developer position. My hands were shaking as I read the words. This was it. This was the key to unlocking my entire future. Then, the day of the interview arrived. I remember it like a nightmare I can't forget. I opened my laptop, my heart pounding against my ribs. 3 interviewers appeared on the Zoom call, all native speakers with friendly smiles. They started the conversation, their voices flowing with an ease that felt both welcoming and terrifying. I felt a cold sweat form on my forehead. My mind went blank. The lead interviewer asked the first question. "So, Leo, we're very impressed with your portfolio. Can you walk us through your creative process for the game Starfall?" I knew the answer. I knew every single line of code, every design choice, every late-night inspiration for that game. But the words wouldn't come out. They were trapped somewhere between my brain and my mouth. I stammered, "Yes, Starfall is a game. I make it with passion. The code is good. It has many features." The friendly smiles on their faces tightened. A heavy, suffocating silence filled the virtual room. It felt like an eternity. They tried again with another, simpler question. But my mind was a fog. I couldn't form a single coherent sentence. In the end, one of them offered a polite, almost sympathetic smile and said, "All right, Leo, thank you for your time. We'll be in touch." I knew what that meant. I had failed. I didn't get the job. Not because my skills were lacking, but because I couldn't communicate them. I couldn't speak the language of my own industry. That day, I understood that English wasn't just a subject. It was the bridge to my dreams. And my bridge was broken. That night, I didn't cry. I felt a cold, hard anger burn inside me. I stood in front of the mirror, looking at my own defeated reflection, and I asked myself a question. Leo, are you going to let a language define your worth? Are you going to let this wall hold you prisoner for the rest of your life? The answer was no. My 6-month war plan. Most people start learning English by downloading an app or buying a thick grammar book. I had tried that before. It never worked. So this time, I needed a system. I needed a battle plan. The first 30 days, rebuilding the foundation. My first battle was against my own mind. I had to unlearn the belief that I was bad at English. Every single morning, I started a new ritual. I would look in the mirror and say out loud, "I am not bad at English. I am a work in progress, and I am getting better every single day." I told myself that making mistakes was not a sign of failure, but a sign of courage. It was proof that I was trying. This simple act of self-affirmation started to heal my shattered confidence. It was the first crack in that invisible wall. Months 2 and 3, the immersion offensive. I knew I had to force my brain to think in English. To do this, I adopted two powerful techniques. The life narrator technique. I turned my life into a movie and I became the narrator. Whenever I was alone, I would describe everything I was doing, seeing, and feeling in English out loud. While making coffee, I'd say, "I am now pouring the hot water into the cup. The smell of coffee is filling the room. This makes me feel awake and ready for the day." It felt silly at first, but it was incredibly effective. My brain slowly stopped translating and started thinking. Directly in English. The shadowing drill. This was my secret weapon for pronunciation and fluency. I would find short clips of native speakers on YouTube or in podcasts. I'd listen to one sentence, pause the audio, and immediately repeat it. I didn't just copy the words, I copied the rhythm, the tone, the emotion. For example, if the speaker said, "It was an incredibly challenging but rewarding experience," I would repeat it 10 times, trying to match their exact intonation. After a month of this daily drill, the foreign sounds of English started to feel natural on my tongue. Months 4 and 5, the active combat zone. Now it was time to actively use the language. I focused on two core strategies. The story web method for vocabulary. I abandoned memorizing word lists forever. Instead, I learned words in context. Every day, I would choose 5 new words and weave them into a short personal story. For instance, with the words ambitious, persevere, milestone, overcome, and ultimately, I created a story. My ambitious goal was to learn English. I knew I had to persevere through many challenges. My first real conversation was a huge milestone. It helped me overcome my fear. Ultimately, I knew all the effort would be worth it. This method connected the words to emotion and memory, making them unforgettable. The daily discomfort challenge. I knew that growth only happens outside your comfort zone. So every single day, I forced myself to do one small thing that scared me. On Monday, I asked a stranger for directions in English. On Tuesday, I made a phone call to book a table at a restaurant. On Wednesday, I joined an online English practice group and just listened. By Friday, I worked up the courage to speak for 1 minute in that group. Each small victory built on the last, turning my fear into fuel. The final victory and a promise kept. 6 months after that devastating interview, Dreamweave Studios announced new openings. This time, as I prepared my application, there was no fear. There was only a quiet, unshakable confidence. I got the interview. I sat in front of my laptop, facing the same panel of interviewers. But I was not the same Leo. When they asked me about my passion for game development, a story flowed from me. I spoke about how games are not just entertainment, but a form of art that creates connections. I explained the intricate details of my new projects, the challenges I faced, and the solutions I engineered. English was no longer a barrier, it was my tool. It was the paintbrush I used to paint a picture of my passion. I could see the look of genuine surprise and respect in their eyes. A week later, the email arrived. The subject line read, "Job offer, junior game developer at Dreamweave Studios." My starting salary was $80,000 a year. I just stared at the screen, tears of joy streaming down my face. I hadn't just gotten a job, I had reclaimed my dream. Do you know what I did with my first paycheck? My younger sister has always been my biggest supporter. She loves video games more than anyone I know. I went out and bought her the most advanced gaming PC, a top-of-the-line monitor, and every game she had ever dreamed of playing. When I set it all up in her room, she just stood there, speechless, her eyes wide with disbelief. That hug she gave me, that moment of pure, unadulterated joy on her face, that was my real trophy. That was worth every second of the struggle. So, what did I learn? What are the secrets? Your mindset is your greatest ally or enemy. You must win the battle in your mind before you can win in the real world. Stop saying "I can't." Start saying "I will." Consistency beats intensity. It's not about studying for 10 hours one day. It's about practicing for 30 minutes every single day, rain or shine, tired or motivated. Show up for yourself. Find your why. Why do you want this? What is the dream that keeps you awake at night? Your why is your fuel. For me, it was my passion for creation and my sister's smile. Embrace mistakes as your teachers. Every mistake is a lesson. Do not fear them, welcome them. The only real mistake is not trying at all. Make it your life, not just a subject. Don't just study English, live it. Change your phone's language, watch movies, listen to music, narrate your day. Make it a part of who you are. So, I ask you again, what is your invisible wall? What dream is waiting for you on the other side? Are you going to let fear keep you trapped? If a regular guy like me can go from being silenced by his insecurities to achieving his wildest dreams, then I know with absolute certainty that you can too. The power is already inside you. You just have to decide to use it. Your journey to fluency, to freedom, to your dream, it starts right now, in this very moment. If this story resonated with you, if it lit even a small fire in your heart, then please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Let's walk this path together. Let's go and break down some walls.